This all-male magical fraternity was outlawed when the Witch Queen came into power. Welcome to this continuation of my DireLands system-agnostic dark fantasy campaign setting. My name is Adam, and in this episode, I will be discussing the secret organization known as Graullen's Fist in DireLands. If you appreciate the development of this campaign setting, or the features of other games on this channel, I'd like to invite you to consider becoming a patron on Patreon. You can even purchase tabletop role-playing games or get $10 by signing up to startplaying.games using my affiliate links in the description below. Graullen's Fist began as a reaction to the dramatic climate change experienced in what is now known as 9:02 a.m. or after men arrived from the west. The glaciers that were known to exist in the northern reaches of the North Prolec Sea and Groinish Ocean began to grow at such an exponential rate that the people of northern Falest were seeing increased winters, which decimated their already narrow growing seasons, forcing mass migration south. Graullen's Fist began as Graullen Lorx's astrological society. The orc tribes of the north had long studied the natural world and knew of celestial processions long before the Biochte, or men from the west, arrived. Graullen believed there was a natural explanation to the glacier's growth and set about discovering it. What he learned was that there was an exclusive female fraternity known as Zalshan tampering with the cosmic bodies outside of Kirdvonig, and decided to form an all-male secret society to not only learn about their practices, but to balance the use of cosmic power. This notion of balance was more of an act of self-aggrandizement, as Graullen was a known chauvinist, rejecting the path many of the orc tribes had taken in antiquity of allowing women to take the reins of their tribal cultures. Through his study of the sky and his research into Zalshan, he stumbled upon a cosmic legacy of magic. There was a source he found in the far north whose name did not survive history, which he learned the secrets of cosmic ritual from. Through these sacred rites, he divined the Zalshan and their cosmic travel and chose to leverage this power not as a means to elevate one's consciousness or knowledge of the universe, but to rather reclaim control of his culture's masculine future. This drove him to form Graullen's Fist. This secret group would use magic to subvert the matriarchal power and ended in the Great Vessel extinction of 895 a.m. The vessel is what Graullen referred to as the feminine aspects of life, and the fist represented the masculine or power, appropriating this notion from the hero Savis. Men were drawn to his teaching of self-empowerment and went along with the chauvinistic rhetoric, and it eventually developed into a feature rather than a trait of the group. These males of the northern orc tribes worked at capitalizing on the economic and environmental devastation and directed it towards subtle propaganda which led to the vessel extinction. In one night, nearly all the matriarchs in the northern clans were infected with a terrible disease, one unknowingly drawn from cosmic origin by Graullen's Fist, that ended in an agonizing death to those infected. In the wake of the extinction, patriarch representatives were presented as the rightful heirs of the matriarch collapse, blaming the females for the global destabilization and the closing off of positions of power to them. With their secret war a success, men reclaimed their tribal control, even though the quality of life of the northern people would continuously degrade for centuries as the Witch Queen rose. Perhaps it was the memory of better days centuries before, when the orcs were ruled by women, which predisposed the northern tribes to accept the Witch Queen. Or perhaps it was just years of open conflict between the now Locastan nation and Bressus, which spurred the adoption of her rhetoric. In either case, once the Witch Queen took power, she quickly shut down the use of males from using magic and, when caught, would make examples of them, gelding them and displaying their severed heads on spikes with their mouths filled by their masculinity. This reinforced the need for secrecy for the descendant members of Graullen's Fist, though they continued to watch and wait, and in 640 a.m. they returned to the north of Locastan to find the origin of Graullen's teachings. What they found was more terrifying than they could have imagined. In the centuries since the Ice Age took over the North, Doce had been delivering a cosmic aberrant army of horrors to Kirdvonig. Graullen's Fist was trapped by this new threat, though in their attempts at evading them, they discovered, miles under the ice, the origin of Graullen's knowledge. An ancient, now frozen citadel led to a dungeon connecting to an underground wildland. Whomever created these ruins originally had an intimate knowledge of cosmic power and the Fey realm. Now, finally able to grow their knowledge of this ancient power, they have to reckon with the consequence of its discovery. They are trapped. Surrounding them in the vast caverns of the glaciers overhead are nameless horrors. Their male-only secret society prevents them from growing their numbers, and the bitter irony of their origins have come full circle. Yes, the magic keeps them alive, but their chauvinistic origins prevent them from growing their society, dooming them to an isolated death if they cannot find a way past this new threat. Will Graullen's Fist find a way out of their confinement? Will the access to the wildlands allow them to grow their order? And finally, can any secret society exist when it limits its growth over centuries? Only your home campaign can answer these questions, as the future of these DireLands are in your hands. Thank you for watching today's DireLands Fantasy Campaign Setting episode. Please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, liking and commenting on this video, and if you enjoyed this episode, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Thank you to creator patron Aaron Hardy and developer patrons Chris Androu and Sam Ruiz. Always remember that evil spelled backwards is live, so get out there and be evil.